You guys don't understand when this happens, it's so heartbreaking because everyone has their like reminders set to the original and we put the link out in like several places. So when the original link does not work, it's yeah, just truly heartbreaking. Clayton, thank you. I'm gonna have you up as a co-host just in case. Nico, if you want to request as well. I let the zKitty team know that we are here, so they should be coming in soon. Okay. zKitty team, I invited you to speak. Clayton, I invited you as a co-host. I see you as a speaker. And yeah, Defitrader, come on up. Why not?
Hello,
All
hello.
right.
Hi, Amanda. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you? Oh my gosh, I'm really sorry about this.
No, not at all. All good. I think like Twitter Spaces are known for rugging, so it's nothing that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, just like super heartbreaking because I don't know why this time must be super popular because I see a ton of other spaces happening at the same time. So like, why is only ours crashing?
I mean,
You are
my
doing
hope is that
awesome.
the demand for people to come join the zkSummer across and Taho space was so overwhelming it crashed their Twitter server. But who knows?
No, you got nerves of steel, Amanda. We had such a buggy Twitter space yesterday too, and you're not kidding. There's like 17 going on right now. So, no, just you're doing awesome. I mean, you got nerves of steel. I totally would not be this calm right now.
All,
I know,
all...
imagine. Just cancel the whole thing. No.
But yeah,
Oh, this call is
it's
so
good to be
important.
here. Sorry, my bad.
Oh yeah, I don't know if anyone caught like the intro of the last call, but yeah, this call is like super important to us because it is an across community favorite. The Kitty project. The folks in our Discord, our Rangers have been singing the praises of this protocol since the beginning. So we're just like so excited to have you guys here to really kick off the first week of this campaign. So really thank you for joining.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for having us. It's really great to hear the sentiments being positive about zKitty in the across server, and I noticed so many cross DAO members like on the call today, and people like PVM and Infinity have been particularly helpful with helping us be exposed to what you guys are doing and connecting and all that kind of thing. So super grateful for just all different members of the communities coming together here and helping us sort of have a platform to talk about what we're up to in the space, and we're really looking forward to sharing all our latest updates, developments, and roadmap with you all here.
Oh, okay, awesome. Well, yeah, then let's get started because I think we have been keeping everyone waiting. So let's just hear from you guys, like what the project is, and if you could also give a general introduction of yourself, like who is behind the Kitty profile today.
Yeah, sure thing. So there's a good team here. Obviously, Defitrader or David, who's also on the stage here with us. He's a core contributor to the project, and we've also got Clip Finance here, who's our technical partner, who's been helping us build our tech stack around zKitty. And I'm sure both Alex and David are going to chime in and talk about the projects alongside me today. But yeah, just to give a really kind of brief overview of what zKitty DAO is. We are an automated airdrop farming service built on zk Sync era, and our core mission is to bring automated airdrop farming bots to the masses. And we're doing this through an NFTfi component. So we sell NFTs to get access to one of our subscription bot services.
Hey, Charlie. I think you're stepping away from the mic there. It's hard to hear.
Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad.
It's okay.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, that's good. I can hear you.
Okay, great. And yeah, so we've got 5,333 Space Kitty NFTs, and the NFTs are used as a way to access our zKitty bot, the NFT bot, and that's one of our subscription models to access the service. And once you've purchased one of those NFTs, you can effortlessly participate in both current and upcoming airdrop events. Our core focus is initially on zk Sync, and what we're trying to essentially do for our user base is they can avoid doing extensive research or navigating the technical hurdles often associated with automated airdrop farming, not to mention the very time-consuming sort of aspects of having enough resource like during your day to allocate hours to actually sort of conducting the airdrop farming process itself. So we want to take that strain off our users, and we do that through our proprietary tech, which is our NFTfi smart contracts and Telegram bots. And the sign up process takes a few clicks, and within a few minutes, you can be farming protocols and chains that you'd like to farm. So that's kind of like a really sort of like general summary, like a sort of high level overview. And I think just to kind of sort of add on to that, we have two distinct services like through our subscription model. And that's the first one is the NFT Kitty bot. And that's where you simply stake one of your zKitty NFTs or multiple NFTs. And that's a private service run by Defitrader. So David here on the call. And he will basically run the zKitty bot in the background for you and position your airdrop farming portfolio for success. And then the second service we offer, which is also a subscription service, which doesn't require the zKitty NFT, is a Telegram bot, which is open access to the public. And you can utilize our zKitty utility token to access this service. And once you've deposited funds into a farming wallet, you can then apply our automated airdrop farming strategies. And you can choose either preset full automation strategies, or you can also create your own sort of more customized like manual strategies based around your personal preferences. So yeah, that's like a kind of sort of quick introduction about the sort of core sort of value prop of the bots and the services we've been building out.
That is so cool. And like obviously not financial advice, but what are some of the strategies that you've seen that have like really worked for people?
So the main things is to create activity. I think that's like the main thing that is being rewarded here. And that materializes in several ways, such as volume, TVL, transaction, the number of smart contracts interacted with. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase all these different metrics to be able to land the biggest allocation for these airdrops for each individual wallet. So that's our main priorities here. Now, as far as like how to best do that, some of the best ways is to do bridging and swapping and do that in a way that's not consuming a lot of gas. I think that's the other main priority as well, is to minimize our gas expenditures, because that's the main expense with doing these farming operations. So I would say those two are the main focus points, and think that that's the thing that's going to secure the biggest airdrops.
Okay, amazing. Thank you for that little bit of alpha in case people aren't sure what strategies to go with and they want to try some customization. Random question that
Yeah, I could
wasn't
dig
really
deeper
oh
into that if you like as well.
oh sure, yeah. I wanted to ask really quickly, do any of you guys actually have cats? I wanted to see what the cat to dog ratio is on the panel.
I don't. I have a dog. I got a Rottweiler, but no cat. I used to when I was a little kid, though. But I'm actually allergic to cats, but I like them. I just can't really be around them for too long. But I like the cats.
I had no idea you were
That's why
allergic to
you
cats,
prefer them
DeFi Trader.
in JPEG version, right, David?
Yeah, I like the JPEG version. I much preferably be around that. I don't get the allergies.
So like a metaverse cat's like okay for you, David, because there's no actual real fluff involved.
Yeah, I'll take the cats all day in the metaverse. I could get into the airdrop wallets because I think it's really important to note some of the things that we're doing to make sure we're landing the biggest airdrops. And what we're doing is looking at previous airdrops that have occurred, and we're just trying to look at history and see how we could replicate that in the future. Because history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. So we're definitely looking at past airdrops to replicate this. So with Arbitrum, there was 625,000 eligible airdrops, and only about 0.8% of those were eligible for the maximum allocation. The maximum allocation was 10,220. I'm sorry, 10,250 ARB tokens. That was the maximum allocation, and only 0.8% of all of the ARB tokens that were distributed were sent to these quote unquote whale wallets. So our prerogative is to create as many whale wallets for zKitty DAO as possible. But what the criteria set for that is you have to bridge to the network, obviously. So you bridge to the network. The next thing is that you do 9 distinct transactions over the course of 9 months. So you have a transaction, at least one during each one of those months. Next is the amount of smart contracts that you're interacting with. So the total smart contract interactions you have, and you want to have at least 100. The transaction value that you are transacting needs to be more than 250,000 in aggregate value. The value bridged is at least $250,000 of assets that you want to have bridged across the network. And then the total amount of transactions that you've conducted, you want to have more or at least 100 transactions. So those are the criteria, and you have to make sure you tick off each one of those boxes for the criteria to be qualified for the maximum allocation to have like a whale wallet. So that's our prerogative with zKitty DAO.
Okay, yeah, and it's good that we did a deeper dive there because I think there might be a misconception. At least there was even for myself. Like when you see like sort of the tagline or like the hook of this project, it's like this quite genius utility and use case for NFTfi, right? So I thought it would just be where yeah, you just own the NFT and kind of walk away and expect to earn the maximum amount, as you just mentioned. But yeah, there are some steps that you do need to take in order to achieve that level. So those are really good breakdown. Thanks so much.
Yeah, and this is mainly, I think, for us as far as the team and the operations goes for the airdrop farming. But it's also good for the ones that want to use the Telegram bot, which is more of a custom operation for you. That if you want to do your own airdrop farming operations, these are things to consider when you're using the Telegram bot. For us, this is knowledge that we have to have, and this is stuff we're applying to our operations. But if you're not cognizant of these things and you're doing your own operations, then you might be leaving some money on the table. So I just figured I'd share that.
If you guys don't
Yeah,
mind, I would love to share
100%.
my story of farming Arbitrum and receiving. I think I met like all the criterias except for their sidechain because Arbitrum has the sidechain that I never end up using. So my story is that yes, I got 5,225 or 50 ARP tokens on the airdrop, and I think I met most of the criteria that the Defitrader just mentioned. I did it by pure accident. I was performing arbitrage of GMX token between Arbitrum and Avax Avalanche. So I was just purely running after the price difference on two different chains because I saw that whenever the market moves, the first mover it was always Avalanche and Arbitrum was kind of lagging behind. Sometimes it was the other way around. So I set up an arbitrage bot and I had tokens on both chains. Whenever the price was different, I was swapping and then bridging over. And after, I think, 3 months of operating, there was a lot of competition, so I kind of shut it down. And I think 6 months later, or a few months later, I'm seeing this notification that Arbitrum is releasing their token, and I was really happy to hear that because it was like, yay, I reached all the criteria, so I'm receiving this big airdrop. But then on the top of my head, I was like, why was I operating on a single wallet? Because my volumes were way, way bigger. And then I was reading about people who were operating with 100 wallets. If I would have 100 wallets, I would receive a $500,000 airdrop. That would be awesome. But this time we teamed up with zKitty to make it possible for people to not miss out on this opportunity, because people who have received airdrops before know the feeling of getting this sweet airdrop. I got Uniswap airdrop in the past, and now Arbitrum. So I definitely don't want to miss out on any new airdrops coming out.
Yeah, 100%, Alex. I think the great thing about sort of zKitty, as you've highlighted there, is that instead of having sort of the risk of putting all your eggs in sort of one wallet essentially or basket, we can spread out that sort of risk across thousands of wallets that will be farming on behalf of the community, especially through the private service, which is the NFT-kitty bot, which Defitrader will be running. And I think just while we're on the topic of like whale wallets, I think it's really important to sort of highlight who are sort of positive sum and negative sum airdrop farmers in the space. So we kind of like view sort of individual whales like operating in a silo as negative sum farmers, as it's usually just one human with thousands of addresses like co-opting all the rewards. And it's this kind of sort of really is like a kind of like a greedy cash grab more than anything else. And they're kind of sort of using their unfair advantage of technical know-how and potentially resource in terms of like transaction volume and size and bankroll to get the lion's share of the funds. However, we view kind of community airdrop farming, which is what zKitty is, as positive sum because we are redistributing the rewards in a fair and equitable way to our community, who we want to also be long-term token holders in the airdrops that we're farming. So I think that's like a sort of quite important distinction because our actual sort of reward distribution in terms of the reward sharing with the NFTs zKitty bot is an 80-20% ratio. So 80% of the rewards are distributed back to the community and 20% are taken as a service fee by the DAO to cover all our operation costs. And we think that's kind of like a fair ratio considering the service we're providing the community, as it's hopefully a strong value add to them, while also ensuring that a majority of the rewards we farmed get put into the hands of the holders who want to be holding these tokens for a long term. So we feel that's like, a nice kind of way to position ourselves like in the market. And we hope to be seen and viewed in a lens of positive sum farmers as opposed to being extractive in the space.
Yeah, more than fair breakdown, in my opinion, at least, that for someone, if they don't have the time or the resources to do all of these activities, yeah, you don't want to miss out on these airdrops. They are surprisingly lucrative. Like, that is really incredible that you could have made like $1 million if you only had 100 wallets doing all these things. So yeah, I didn't realize the power of zKitty DAO. You guys are really blowing my mind right now. Really happy to have you guys on. I think this is like a really, again, great way to kick off this week. I had, and by the way, everyone is just like dying at David's allergy to cats. That's, I just see like everyone in the Discord kind of like dying at that point. But we wanted to ask maybe something a little bit more general, if the team doesn't mind. We wanted to ask what was the inspiration behind the artistic style of the NFTs. How did you get inspired to like reach this aesthetic?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, first of all, we have to give all the credit to our amazing artist, Panda Popo, who spun up the collection for us and created some really great sort of cartoonish cats for us. And I think like when we were working with Panda, if we're going to describe the like artistic style and the aesthetic behind it, is we were kind of like sort of looking to sort of emulate a similar kind of sort of style to the really famous Hello Kitty Japanese inspired artwork. So there's kind of like I believe it's pronounced kawi, like culture to it, which is a Japanese word which can be translated to cute or adorable. And there's kind of like a few kind of like sort of nods to Hello Kitty in the artwork with like Easter eggs of the iconic kind of like red bow, which like Hello Kitty wears. And like similar kind of like sort of round and soft edges to like the style of the artwork. We've also incorporated the classic like thick line cute theory, which was really popular in NFT-summer way back. But we wanted to also kind of give it a kind of irreverent and silly feel as well. So that's kind of reflected in some of the traits, such as the kitty fruit hats, for instance, and also some of the kind of like also punk rock like facial piercings that like the cats have. Um, and the kitty fruit hats were actually inspired by a company called Blim, who are a family business in Vancouver who specialize in craft workshops for local artists. And one of the products they designed was this cat hat fruit series. And that they were actually also inspired by another Japanese term called gacha gacha, which is a type of vending machine in Japan. And they kind of issue these kind of like fun toys from these vending machines. And we kind of saw these fruit hats on their website, and they're kind of like these little hats you can put on your cat at home, and they look hilarious. And we thought to ourselves, well, why not try and incorporate that into our collection? Um, and of course, there is obviously the Space Kitty theme, which is what our lore is based upon. And the kind of general gist of the lore is like in a distant corner of the universe on a planet known as Planet Pause. There's like a collective of space traveling kitties who have perfected the science of automated airdrop farming. And the kind of like the idea behind the lore is that the zKitties got tired of living on planet Earth, and they got sort of sick of all the humans, of all their metaverse addictions, and becoming like Dgen VR couch potatoes, and like aping into forked Ponzi's, and gambling their airdrop rewards away. And they basically moved to Planet Pause and then developed all these kind of advanced Telegram robotics, and then have come back to try and save humanity by helping them farm airdrop rewards. So it's definitely a little bit far fetched, but could be happening in a parallel universe somewhere. But yeah, that's kind of like sort of the idea around the lore and the themes and the inspiration for the artwork.
I want to believe that in a multiverse world, I am on Planet Pause, because that is some really incredible lore. I really do love it.
Yeah, we have an addition too that Charlie just came up with called Zgen, which is our kind of like a mascot as well that we have. And he's like the lone human amongst all the other ZKitties on Planet Halls. And yeah, we've got something developing there with the storyline as well. And cats is just it's kind of like part of the internet meme culture as well. So I think that cats and kitties is just part of the internet now. And then we have some news coming up around the corner too. It's like a big update for our collection as well. I don't know if you want to get into that with the friends of zKitty.
Yeah, for sure. So you're also about to drop the next sort of addition to our current collection. So zKitty kind of started as like a standalone, but then we always wanted to expand the zKitty universe to zKitty and friends. And the next like kind of sort of cute sort of like furry critter to be added to the collection will be Z-Dog, because I feel like cats and dogs are synonymous with crypto and the Web3 space. And we didn't want to leave out, a bunch of Shibas who love to seem to work their way into as many kind of like crypto memes as possible. And yeah, we're really excited about launching that next phase of the mint, which will occur very soon after we release the MVP of the bot next week. Um, but yeah, the dogs are kind of like sort of similar lore and narrative, but they sort of come from another planet, which is and they've got like a federation on that planet, which is the Roboso, like sort of dog federation, and they specialize in airdrop farming too. And they're going to basically team up zKitties on Planet Pause to go and farm rewards on behalf of the community. So we've dropped like a sneak peek in our Discord channel. So if you want to go and take a look at the dogs, like that's already in the server and can be viewed there. And we'll be releasing 2,333 dogs into the wild alongside the zKitties. So that'll be a 50-50% ratio split. And that leaves like sort of out of our 5,333 collection, some NFTs left over to either incorporate some more characters to release as a kind of next minting phase, or also to maybe drive some further investment from other alpha DAOs, or maybe even potentially VC partnerships.
Oof, I have to ask, are there any fox towns that will be in the artwork?
I guess like Shivas can be kind of like sort of like fox houndish to a certain extent. But like yeah, I think they definitely got some sort of pretty fox-like features if that's your bag.
Well, that's just as the Tahoe team. That's their mascot there. So I did hear you say, sorry, that they were a group of Shivas. But I know Tahoe, Nico, right? The Tahoe team has like quite a few different dogs that represent in the arsenal, no?
Yes, yeah. Kind of a storied past with dogs over at Tahoe. And obviously, we're community owned, and we're a truly open sourced wallet option for people. And so, in the original days, for people that follow MetaMask, they decided to close their code source and sort of take everything private over to a centralized, kind of a bank owned operation. So during the original days of Tally Ho, we were absolutely hunting foxes, and yeah, dogs hunt foxes. So that's kind of the story on how we got originally affiliated. We decided to shorten the name to Tahoe, and by shortening it, we obviously there's Tally out there, which is a huge DAO provider, and just we didn't want to get mixed up with some other people. We had a community renaming campaign. Gosh, it's been a year and a half now. But anyway, that's kind of the storied history. And yeah, we're very dog centric over there. We call ourselves Doggos in the community. And I don't have a problem with cats. I love them, but I have a pit bull at home, and she would love it if I brought a cat in here. So I don't. But
Well, then
yeah,
we're really happy to hear that the only cat is on your PFP.
man, and I don't know if it's okay to jump in on this since I'm on the mic, but I was so blown away by the DAO and the project. I originally was, obviously we launched Arbitrum, and we had really a great success with that as well, using Across. And I got into their airdrop and was able to claim on one wallet, but not on 5 others that I had used. And so when I saw your platform, it blew my mind. And I'm a huge fan of ZK Sync. I go to Ethereum Denver every year, and this year in February, they actually had food trucks set up, and they dumped. There were a bunch of people there, thousands of people, probably 40,000 people, and they just gave everybody $10. And, we were buying tacos on ZK Sync with our phones. So I knew it was the real deal. And yeah, that's what made me ape in. Um, I downloaded the Tahoe extension. Obviously, I'll do a little plug here, Tahoe.xyz, and it's a Google Chrome extension. And it was easy to go up. I just put some ETH in my wallet and I bridged it over using the Across bridge. I got it over onto ZK Sync. Then once I was inside ZK Sync, I went to Element. You guys have a super easy link, easy to follow. And I bought the PFP that I'm rocking, Captain Kid. So pretty cool experience, and I'm super excited. We're really excited to be a part of this campaign, and I hope everybody has a chance to use our wallet to go ape into this project. I'm really jazzed about it.
100%. And can I just do some more plugging for Tahoe, if that's okay, Nico? Because one of the things I sort of noticed recently with the Tahoe UX, which is particularly useful, is that you have like a gallery for like displaying NFTs, and a big kind of like problem for me, sort of like when I've been kind of like managing distributions of NFTs and sending it out to investors or like pre-sale partners or people who've wanted to buy OTC, for instance, is that if I'm in like a wallet and like MetaMask, and I'm not trying to shame MetaMask or anything, it's obviously a good service, but I have to like import my NFT from like with the contract address, and then have to like kind of sort of upload it, and like if I want to go and find the NFTs I'm looking for, it's like a whole bunch of hassle, right? Because it's not being automated on the front end for the UX. But in Tahoe, I get to have the gallery just appear instantaneously as soon as I basically add my wallet. So I'll take like my private key for my MetaMask, like upload it to Tahoe, and then all my NFTs just appear. And if I want to kind of like sort of bulk send like NFTs to like multiple people, which I have been doing in like the past few weeks, that's like super useful utility, and like really saves me time and like speeds up the process. So I mean, I know there's loads of great features with Tahoe, but shout out to the UX and the NFC gallery feature. That's probably my favorite part so far.
You are making me blush right now. I really appreciate that feedback too. I mean, that's awesome to hear, not just an individual user, but someone managing a large and quite successful DAO. So thank you, man. That really, a little backstory on that. I mentioned earlier, we're community led, right? We started organically almost 2 years ago now. We're coming up on 2 years in November. But at the time, it was DeFi, right? Everything was in full bloom, middle of a bull market, and it was DeFi. And I roll in there, and I'm the NFT guy. I love NFTs. I got into the space back in 2018. I love my collections, and I started chatting with the guys, and I'm like, well, hey, we're going to be getting as many NFT fans in here as DeFi. Let's get working, And I don't know, Nico. And pretty soon, someone said, well, maybe he's right. He's in our community. He's showing up every Friday. This was way back when I was just kind of a kid off of the streets. And they listened. They put my request into the developers, and our team, they're writing code and they're doing pull requests. It's really a beautiful thing to watch. If you don't have a GitHub account, you can actually go in. That's what Web3 is all about, right? There's nothing to hide. And all of a sudden I'm talking about it and they're working on it. And what don't you like? And what do you like? And so that NFT viewer was just coming out of mine and a bunch of other people's suggestions. So kind of throwing that out to everybody. If you join our community, make suggestions. But one last thing I wanted to say to close on that, if you dig a little deeper into the NFT viewer, I don't know if you saw the filter buttons up at the top, but you can actually hit that and it'll open up a toggle panel. And if you go into portfolio, so for me, I have, wallets over the last 5-6 years, and I've brought them all in.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
What I can do is I can toggle on and off NFT collections. And it's kind of a sad story, right? But as soon as you buy a collection, like now that I own this incredible ZKitty NFT, the bad actors are going to be out there and they're going to search, this NFT contract, and they're going to get a list of all the wallet holders, and then they'll just start sleep minting fake NFTs into your wallet, and they're not even related to the project, right? And so what you can do is you can just go in and kind of toggle all those off, and what I call, reduce the noise. But anyway, nice plug. Thank you so much. It's really an honor to hear you guys have such kind words about us.
Could I just say thank you, Nico, for making that request feature, because it's really been a pleasure to use. I know that that's been one of the biggest pain points for, I think, us and like us as a community at ZKitty, just trying to deal with the UX and the user interface for managing our NFTs and just seeing what's actually on our wallets. I can't tell you like how many support tickets I was closing out, and because of issues with just not being able to see the NFTs in MetaMask, because MetaMask is not the greatest at displaying what's actually in your wallet. Whatever's on chain is not what is getting displayed in the MetaMask wallet, unfortunately. So yeah, just thank you for making that feature. It's been so easy to use. It's been a pleasure to use versus MetaMask, which has just created so many support tickets for us. So thank you for reducing our load there with that, and just making like a feature that is just very useful.
Such a pleasure to hear that. I mean, that is the biggest reward ever. It's just the beginning too. We're still in our community edition. We're in version 46.1 right now, or 0.46, I should say. So when we launch version 1.0, that's going to be our true public facing final version. But we're live in the Chrome store. Chrome, of course, painstakingly and takes their time going through each release. So I encourage everybody to take a look. It's an awesome time. I don't certainly like to talk about what could happen or what might happen, but it's just an awesome time to download the Taho extension and check out our Web3 pledge. Do some on-chain transactions. Everything that you do to participate in the campaign right now. I mean, Amanda talked on this at length, and it's just incredible, right? I mean, just the campaign that you guys have set up will be on chain. And so those are some of the first steps right there. So anyway, thank you guys. Amazing. Just amazing to be a part of it all. And I'm definitely going to take these comments back to the team. I don't know when these guys sleep. We talk about stuff on Thursdays and Fridays, and man, it's shipped on Monday. So shout out to both our team, and also shout out to Across. Man, you guys got ZK support like champions. Like, that's incredible. It's amazing to see that.
Yeah, 100%. I just wanted to speak about all the Across stuff and how impressed we've been as zKitty, because we're obviously super bullish that Across have just integrated ZK Sync with their bridge. And it's unbelievably good timing for us because we're obviously about to launch our products, and our destination chain is ZK Sync. So thank you for basically helping us with like your roadmap there Across. We really appreciate it. And now we can do a lot of our sort of bridging on the back ends onto ZK Sync, like using our protocol for our farming operations. And that will obviously increase the eligibility of our users for farming the zkS airdrop as well. So that's going to be a big sort of benefit to our community. But what I was also really loving about so some of the stats you published recently is the multi-chain capital efficiency element. And like, why is that important to us? Because, well, we're airdrop farmers, and without like a cost-efficient bridge, we can't farm effectively. So our biggest burn in our model is probably gas fees. So anywhere we can reduce like our farming OPEX and recoup expenses is a big win for us. So when you guys posted stats on your bridge fees, which say that that you're like 50 cents cheaper than Stargate, we were like, meow, basically. And it's going to make a big difference because if we think about it from just some sort of quick napkin maths calculations, like if we did 100,000 L2 TXs on Stargate and use their sort of their median fee there, that's going to it'll be $1.29 per transaction. That's going to cost us about $129,000 in total. We've got to spend on gas if we're using Stargate. So if we go and use Across and the median fee is like roughly $0.73, then that's like $73,000 we spend on gas. So we're going to save like $56,000 there, which is like crazy for us. It's like an early stage startup like ZKitty. And, then we can actually go and allocate that sort of resource we saved to like our farming operations or like community incentives programs, or just simply like paying out our devs, like our awesome devs at Clip Finance, to integrate like more chains to the bot, whatever it's like, that resource goes to, it goes somewhere more valuable rather than being spent on gas. So that's really big deal for us at ZKC. So thank you so much for all these developments and updates to your roadmap.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I'm like loving this. I'm loving that we're sharing all of these points because I maybe didn't realize this at first, but these three entities are really a match made in heaven because, as you mentioned, yeah, Taho, the capabilities of the entire wallet itself, but yes, really specifically to like their NFT toggling function and NFT collection viewer, it is so powerful. So to have that along with the incredible functionality, as we talked about, the utility of the zKitty collection, and then Across, as you mentioned, like having like such competitive fees, all of these components are really like an airdrop farmer's dream team. So yeah, I think it was really special that we had this space today. And I was really curious, so like obviously all three of our projects really do benefit a lot from airdrop farming, as much as the individual person who will receive the airdrop. And we are 100% in this phase of Web3, in this evolution of Web3. The phase is airdrop farming phase. So I was just curious about everyone on the panel, like how we feel about the sustainability of this phase, because as much again as everyone who's in this space as an individual really loves to benefit from receiving an airdrop, but projects cannot consistently give rounds and rounds of airdrops. It's like doesn't seem sustainable, or is it sustainable? So I'm just curious what you guys think is the future of airdrop farming.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, I think in terms of sure, if a chain or a protocol is already done in airdrop, then yes, like the likelihood of them doing maybe a second one is potential, maybe even a third one too. We have sort of seen examples of that, but I think like the narrative is pretty fixed now in terms of that's how chains and protocols are incentivizing communities to onboard them. Um, and I think like, when you look at how, sort of, it's also like, it's not as beneficial for the end user receiving the airdrop rewards. I think like automated airdrop farming and airdrop farming communities also benefit the venture capitalists and obviously the protocol or chain itself that's being farmed, because when a blockchain project like seeks like venture capital funding, the VCs will want to see certain like metrics that demonstrate growth and profitability. So we kind of like actually allow them to generate those metrics, because we have like a number of new and active users like sort of coming through sort of like our automation services. And admittedly, they're not direct actual humans. Yes, we're using a bot. However, the sort of end goal is to distribute their token into the hands of a human who wants to go and hold that sort of token for longevity, and speculate on potential ROI into the future. Um, so we think by like, sort of providing these like kind of crucial metrics to the blockchains, it kind of actually helps them get sort of further funding from their VCs, like, with the new active users, TX volume, TX fees and hash rate, the potential partnerships that can come on board as a result of that. And I think like what's really sort of important here is that, partnerships will kind of will make us a crypto thrive. And the way we kind of want to position ourselves, like sort of zKitty, in sort of the airdrop farming sort of category, is that we'd like to be a distribution arm for these chains and protocols that we're farming, and to actually sort of make sure that their tokens get put in the hands of investors who want to hold them. And I think the only way that we can already do that is by working together. And I think sort of EdFi partnerships, like and sort of programs where people can come to zKitty DAO and like learn about chains, learn about their tokens, not just how to airdrop farm a chain, maybe how to yield farm, utilize different protocols that are coming onto their networks, etc. Um, and that can be a really positive influence in the space, because it'll just drive user adoption of the token. It'll incentivize people to actually not dump their tokens when they receive the airdrop, and to potentially, keep a strong percentage of that airdrop token like in their wallets, in their portfolio, and then go and further utilize it within the ecosystems they're building on those chains. So I really hope that, like, when we're sort of thinking and talking about sort of the chains we're farming and protocols we're farming, that we're not kind of sort of viewed as like kind of like a cash grab or a quick money project, that we actually want to be here and be like a pillar of support and sort of education and support like the growth of all these companies who are providing us with this opportunity to create a business on top of what they're building. So that's how we kind of like see the future sort of like panning out in terms of like a kind of like community roadmap perspective.
Well, I think that's a really good argument that airdrop farming is not going anywhere. And yeah, you're right. Not only does it benefit to the end user, it does like extremely benefit the protocol, because otherwise it's just nearly impossible to just gain organic usership. But when you provide an incentive and you have a great product, you can really explode. So why not? So yeah, I don't know if there's anyone else who wanted to like chime in on that one, but I was just personally curious as well if your team had any thoughts on the NFTfi landscape. I'm
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to get too deep down the rabbit hole. I'm definitely along. I've been in the space, I mean, 2017, but it, the space is going to have cycles. We're going to have bear markets and bull markets, and value will come and go. At least speaking to ownership of PFP projects, look, there's 5,000 ZKitties that are set. They're on chain. It's verifiable. Anybody can go to Dune Analytics. People know the contract. So now you kind of think about that over time. And again, we're among like the 1% of the 1%. We're doing activities on chain and we're participating in stuff. And take a walk down the street. If you ask 10 people what is ZK Sync, they won't have an answer. Most people have not even really come into the Web3 space yet. So we're super early, but putting it into a perspective, right? What is a collection? Well, it goes beyond, they're set, they're non-fungible. So there's a group of 5,000 people that are going to traverse the development of Web3. And all of a sudden, 5 years from now, if you own a PFP, not particularly speaking to any collection, but you're amongst, a set member. You look at I like to use golf clubs as a membership. When a golf course first opens, they might offer memberships for $2,000, and by the time it's fully built out and everything is there, the clubhouse, the bar, you'd have to pay $20,000 for someone to sell you their membership. And, I kind of look at the PFP space in the same way. I think not just to say monetarily, oh, in 5 years, this PFP is going to be worth so much money, but it gets you into, like, again, like learning about the bot farming and just having access to a lot of the education. It kind of gets you into a subgroup, into a committee or a community, I should say. So for me, I kind of look at things in long-term value of that. Obviously, some of the original collections were on the Ethereum chain. And so seeing such incredible things happening with bridges, also, I think ideally will end up in an agnostic type of a state where you can appreciate benefits from ownership, across chain. But even at the outset right now, I mean, you look at all the numbers when you go to the ZK Sync Discord. There's like 100,000 people in there, and so it's just so nice to be able to dive into a small subgroup, like zkKitty or zKitty DAO, I should say. You're asking a question amongst 400 to 500 owners versus trying to get into a mosh pit on ZK Sync, and all of a sudden, there's 37 other questions that pop up, and your question gets lost in the chat. So, to put it into a nutshell, I really think being a part of these communities so early on, it's not only going to advantageously help you economically, but it's just going to help you with a lot of education and a lot of understanding.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, like Nico, and thank you for sort of giving props to the community and the and the vibrancy in there with all the other members. Like we're definitely building a really strong sort of core unit of holders, and I think the analogy that you used with sort of the golf club membership and like alongside subscriptions and like NFTs is a really interesting one, because the way I kind of look at the the automated airdrop sort of farming category at the moment is that you can kind of like look at a lot of these projects through the lens of like Web2 and Web3 as well, simultaneously. Now I know like Web2 is a little bit of a dirty word in the Web3 space. That's kind of why we're all here, to get away from that. But the reality of automated airdrop farming category at the moment is most of the projects on the market are a combination of the Web2 subscription-based model, like merged with the Web3 mechanics. So, for instance, like our AutoKitty bot has a freemium model where the user can access like some basic features and with a cap on usage. But if they want to unlock all the features, they have to opt in for the premium model, which is like obviously a paid subscription plan. And that's no different to a Web2 business like Adobe Creative Cloud, for example, where a user pays a recurring monthly fee to access their Creative Suite. And of course, there are several other Web3 bot projects like using the standards monthly submodels such as like Loot and Unibot. And you use our utility token to pay for the sub, and we also offer the same utility through the zKitty token. However, so dialing it back to NFTs, I think where we really differentiate ourselves with like our NFTfi model is that people can pay for this subscription fee to access the private server farming bot service with that NFT, and that NFT gives you access to like obviously all the automation features that we sort of have integrated, and it's like a really interesting game theory component because not only does the NFT represent like a shared ownership in the actual sort of zKitty protocol itself, you can actually utilize the service with your NFT, go and farm airdrops, and then at any point, if you wish to decide to exit the project, you still have that subscription ticket, which you can then go and sell on secondary. And if the project performs very well and zKitty moons, maybe you got like a whitelist mint price of 0.04 ETH, and save just like speculative in a speculative manner that like a zKitty NFT goes to 1 ETH. You then have the option to like go and sell that on secondary and generate a profit there too. So it's this recycling of subscriptions with a kind of sort of limited supply, which is like a really interesting sort of game theory sort of features play out on the secondary markets. And the other really cool thing, actually, do you know what? I'm going to ask Alex to explain this because is Alex still here? Yeah, he is on the cool. Alex has been developing this really cool feature with the NFT subscription, which is a point system. But I'm going to hand you over to Alex from Clip Finance to explain that because he's much more technical than me and will do a much better job. So I'm going to hand this over to you, Alex.
Thank you. I'm not sure sometimes on when I explain technical terms if everyone understands my complex explanations, but I'll try to be as simple as possible. So basically, we want to make our NFTs level up through earning points. So whenever the user is staking the NFT, he is accumulating points, and each point system, the point system is tied to the single NFT. So let's say I just bought a zKitty NFT, I staked it, I'm accumulating points. Alongside of me, other people also stake their NFTs, and they're also accumulating points. So how the airdrop distribution is going to work is it's going to work proportionally to the points that you have earned compared to other people. Say there's two people staking, there's 100 points, I have 50, he has 50. We get equal distribution of those NFTs. So, for example, if you're just a flipper, you want to buy and sell NFTs, you don't care, your NFT is actually decreasing in value. But this is actually incentivizing users to participate genuinely in the project, stake their NFT, level the NFT up, hold it longer in the staking, participate in the project, and their NFT is going to become more and more valuable. If they just buy their NFT for the sake of flipping it, their NFT is actually decreasing in value. So we made it so that the staking contract works in a way that you still get to keep your NFT in your wallet. So your NFT becomes so-called binded to your wallet for the time period of your staking. So we've learned that a lot of projects, they write in their description, oh, we actually have this amount of holders, the distribution is very equal because our staking contract holds most of the NFTs. So we learned that lesson that we don't want to do that. We want to allow each wallet to shine their NFT on their wallet, but at the same time have it staked. So you cannot really transfer it out while it's staked. And while it's staking, it's actually gaining value and accumulating those points that will equal the share of your airdrop.
Yeah, definitely well explained, Alex. And and that's just super interesting from a game theory perspective again, because these NFTs have accumulated like more points over time, can then be sold at a higher price on secondary markets. So if you're a loyal staker and you're staking for, let's just say 12 months, and you accumulate sort of 100 points, and then that's much more than the person who's been staking for 1 month. You've got a much better chance to be able to go and potentially flip your NFT for like a serious premium, and that's another way for you to kind of accumulate more sort of profits. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting feature. We haven't seen any other sort of projects in our category doing anything like this, and this is why we're kind of so bullish on sort of the NFTfi component, because it allows us to add this like utility. And I appreciate the word utility gets banded around a lot in like the sort of the NFT sort of project sphere, but this really is utility. Like we're talking about actual features that have use cases and will generate you an ROI. So it's not kind of like a speculative, like sort of cultural framework based on like the credibility of a brand or the artwork. It really is like functional. So we're really super excited about that.
My
Yeah, you can
kitty
totally
also
get
has a
so
pilot's
much in the
license.
space, and it ultimately like doesn't materialize too much. But I think we're really different here.
I wanted to also give props to Nico for mentioning the omni-chain aspect. I was really excited to help the ZKitty team integrate the cross-chain minting functionality, which allowed users to mint the ZKitty token from any major layer 2 and receive it on the ZK Sync chain. I think we're trying to walk on the bleeding edge of the blockchain technology adopted, and also give our community, I mean ZKitty community, the ability to try things and see the potential that the blockchain has to offer. That you don't have to go and bridge tokens over. You can do things from your own chain that you love and receive your utility on the chain where the project is at.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys props on that. I'm also a member of a project called Tableland, and they've got a similar functionality, but you guys are very advanced. You've really, really kind of knocked it out of the park by having points that are affiliated with the actual, token, the actual NFT token. That's a challenge. That's a real deep challenge. A lot of other projects that I followed, as soon as you try to put your NFT back on the marketplace, it's just not connected with any of the history that you've developed. So that's a big deal. I know you kind of talked on that a little bit briefly, but that's pretty revolutionary what you guys are working on. So props to you guys. I was half joking when I said part of the utility is that my cat can also fly a plane, but you've got some cool artwork, really cool artwork.
Speaking of which, I think our community lead, Britt, who is also a ZKitty holder, will kill me if I don't ask. She wanted to ask the team what their favorite traits were, just out of curiosity.
You want to go first, Charlie, or should I? I'll go first.
You go first, David. Yeah.
I really like this cactus body. I don't think it's like the rarest one, but I have an affinity for it for whatever reason. It's a really cute one, green cactus body.
Yeah, I think probably my favorite one, which is actually a new addition to the Doggo collection. We also call them Doggos, Nico. So like we're gonna have to share the Doggo experience. But yeah, like I really like this one which Panda made. Panda Popo, our artist, and it's like a Squid Games like style, like 1-1. I've actually added it as my like PFP on my personal Twitter profile, and I think like, and I love that TV show, and I think the new season's coming out, sort of ends this year or something. So yeah, bullish on like the Doggo Squid Games 1 of 1 in the upcoming collection.
Ooh, everyone's going to be clamoring for that one. Oh, you said 1 of 1. Nico, do you have a favorite? Or
Well, I'm like got such doggo FOMO. You can't imagine, man. I got to get my hands on some of these guys. Um, I a lot of people know I live in the Southwest, so I too like adore that cactus. It is so awesome to just see, the cactus jumper. A buddy of mine told me about Ripple like a couple years ago, and he coincidentally is a commercial airline pilot. So I saw this airline pilot, and I just about died. And I said, I gotta grab this guy, just in honor of my good buddy. But yeah, no, I do believe Brit rocks an astronaut, and even though it's one of the lower tiers, it's kind of open and accessible to everybody. It's one of the coolest artworks. I love those blue Astros, really cool. But all the way across, man, you guys just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, I think we might have did that intentionally without realizing it, or unintentional. The traits don't really have like huge significance outside of those one of ones. The traits are, I think, just for aesthetics, and it wasn't tied to any sort of like value or rarity to it. But the community will obviously decide what's more rare, what's not as rare. Yeah, I really like that pilot one and the space one. The space one's probably one of my favorites actually too. I like that one.
Yeah,
Alex,
and
do you
it
have a
definitely
favorite?
speaks to. Oh, sorry. I was going to say it just speaks to Web3, but and other communities I'm in, right? NFT communities, and you're in their Discord, and there might only be 51 of this trait, and so they'll ask to have a sub channel sometimes in Discord, and they're like, we're the flight captains, or we're the cactus jumpers. And then you really see it, because then you go to events like NFTLA, and I totally do that. I love to support. Sometimes I'll print a little sticker of my PFP, or if I'm really go crazy, I can make a T-shirt or something and rock that. Then you're there, and you're like, well, not only am I a zKitty, but I'm a member of the captain's crew, So it's cool. It isn't just about being able to, flip something for a huge economic profit. I'm just such a fan of Web3. I have friends in foreign countries. The other day I was hanging out with like someone from Egypt, someone from Amsterdam, a couple of people from the States. There's nothing like this. I mean, there's really nothing that brings so many different people together. And look at us today. We're here hanging out on this Twitter space. It's absolutely incredible. We probably represent 5 to 7 different time zones. Just all of us hanging out here. So this just is just incredible. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think
think if
100%. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I think if anyone thought that NFTs were something of the past, this conversation has sold everyone right back. You guys are all great salesmen.
I think that they're incredible. They bring such like a sense of community aspect. I'm also a holder of a Pudgy Penguin I got before Luca Net took over. So I've been a holder for like at least like a year now. But I met up with some other Pudgy Penguin holders when I went to ETH Denver. That was so cool. And I can't wait to have like a meetup where I'm meeting all the other zKitties as well, or Doggos now. the Z Dogs and zKitties hanging out together. So I think that it does like a great job of that. The dynamics that it brings together that are just kind of baked into it. I think that's really powerful. So I've been in Pudgy Penguins, and I've seen that community, um, even in the deepest of the bear market, and even like during the best times. I think like right now for them. But yeah, I'm really excited to see how NFTs develop, the social aspect of them, what they could empower through their technology. And I hope that we're like on the cutting edge of that and can keep pushing the boundaries and make sure that we're doing what we can and using the innovations around us to grow this community even better and more.
Yeah, I
Well,
couldn't agree more, David. And I think something that's like for the community to look forward to is we're going to be dropping our new website tomorrow, and that kind of features all the new so dog and kitty like artwork in the gallery, and incorporates the Zgen memes like all over the website as well. And we've had some really great work done by the design team we're working with at the moment, and it's just looking like a really slick experience. And it's going to factor in like our new Git book as well, with the sort of updated like tokenomics and roadmap, and have hinted a few more things we haven't sort of discussed on this call as well. But yeah, I think people are going to really enjoy it. It really ties like all the work together. I mean, it's nothing like a good website to kind of like basically incorporate the whole vision and a roadmap into one single spot and place. So we feel like it's bringing together all our work we've done over the last few months, and we're just really excited to present that to everyone and see what the community thinks.
nice. Well, again, I think there's no time like now to end it. If anyone here had any doubts about the future of NFTs, NFTfi, I think this panel has really proven everyone wrong, and will continue to. And yeah, I just find this project so fascinating. It's such an innovation for the market, and I'm so excited. I think, yeah, everyone's like very sold on this project, myself personally. And so I want to thank you guys for joining. Of course, thanks to Taho team for co-hosting our Apen to zkSummer campaign. The campaign will continue for the next 3 weeks with more incredible projects that we'll get to know that are native to the ZK Sync era ecosystem. So now that we are live, bridging is live with across to ZK Sync, can get to know these incredible opportunities that are on this L2, very promising L2 from the Matter Labs team. And we just wanted to let you guys know also that we'll have the announcements for next week's guests this weekend, and we'll also announce the winners of today's giveaway to zkitty NFTs. We'll announce that over the weekend as well. But yeah, thank you guys all for joining. It was such a fun panel. We went super overtime, but I was just having such a great time. So yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you for having us. This was amazing.
Yeah, big thank you to Across and Taho, and of course our technical partner Clip Finance, and shouts to all the community members, PVM, OSEC, Infinity. I've seen you guys in the call. It's great to see everyone rocking PFPs, and yeah, thank you so much.
Charlie, I'm expecting a meow before you leave.
Yeah, my bad. Meow.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Seriously,
everyone.
great being on the show.
See you guys next week. Meow.
Yeah.